Okay, so recently I bought a new Hyundai Inster, which I conveniently named Frog because it looks like Frog, but I think I just call every modern car design Frog. But that's besides the point. So as a Tesla owner, I also have Tesla Model 3, which I'm going to sell hopefully soon. I am very spoiled with the app support and the software support and all the features and the stability, and also of course the third-party apps, because Tesla API support is excellent by comparison to what legacy automakers are able to even churn out. So I was very curious how the Hyundai app support is. Unfortunately, on YouTube there's not a lot of videos viewing the apps, what they feature, and what are their limitations, at least in Europe. I did see some videos from America, but they actually have a different app. I imagine it works very similarly and might be tied to one of these, and yeah, there are multiple ones. So when I first got the Insta, I first found MyHyundai and I used MyHyundai. That is the app you use to control car. But then my relative who bought Hyundai Santa Fe, he first installed Bluelink, and you can also control the car from there. And there's also Charge My Hyundai, which is basically map of chargers around you what are linked to the Hyundai system. You can pay for them through that. You can also enable plug and charge, which enables to you plug in the charger and it immediately charges your account, so without activating from app. That only applies to certain networks such as Ionity. However, I can immediately tell you that's going to be way more costly compared to directly subscribing to Ionity, for example, or using any other Charge Networks apps. So generally I don't recommend Charge My Hyundai. However, it's an option for somebody maybe looking for a little bit convenience. It's not very convenient for me. Just like open plug share, see the chargers around you, see what local networks are there. In Latvia, use Mobility. That is probably the most widespread app for chargers. But that's besides the point. Let's go through my Hyundai and Bluelink, compare them a little bit, and tell complaints. With my Hyundai app, when I open it, we are presented with the home menu, which is the main menu and information panel with several widgets, they call it, I believe, or cards. It could be called, doesn't matter the terminology, but that is the home menu where the summary of your vehicle is presented. Below you can see there is also shop menu, there is control menu, there is services menu, and my menu. My menu being the profile of your account information. So from home menu, you can also quickly change your vehicle if you have multiple Hyundai vehicles just by tapping on your Hyundai vehicle, and then you can choose one of your vehicles. You can see that I've named my vehicle Frog just because it's green, but this name is not represented anywhere else in the system, whether in the car or in the other app or otherwise. This is just purely within this app what I have found. So they're imitating something similar Tesla is doing, where Tesla is essentially letting you name your car, but there it is presented across your systems, whether it's third party or otherwise. And then we can see, of course, the summary of the charge, and if I click it, it will take me to the control menu. I will show you afterwards. There is this widget. Why I mentioned the widget rather than cars before, because this particular card is a widget. It's also the same widget you're going to use on the home screen of your phone if you're going to add widget. So if we look at here and we can configure it, what kind of controls we will have it, you can see there's both dedicated home widget as well as widget, which essentially means for this app's home menu widget as well, and the widget is sort of for your Android home screen menu. Now I don't know how it is on iPhones, but I assume maybe there's something similar to this layout. In any case, I already checked that this layout dynamically, if I change it, then it will be represented in the widget on your home screen. So this is what you can do. Only limited to 4 buttons, unfortunately. So regardless how big your screen is, you're still going to be limited to 4 buttons. Then we have a card to plan your next destination. I can strongly recommend not using it and using instead using a better route planner, which is another app and is much more comprehensive, has more chargers, more information, and so on. And on the side, maybe some plug share, another application. That said, what this card menu, the menu submenu that is underneath, is really good for is to see where your car is located. So if I click this, you can see that my vehicle is located here, and that is useful information. It's not available anywhere else here in this app. It is available in the other app. There is one minor gripe or large gripe. It is very slow to update. So I've had situations where my car is in the city. I am at the home because I lend out my car, and it shows that my car is still here. Or opposite, the car comes back from the city, and I see that it's still in the city. So it doesn't update quickly or frequently this location information, which is very frustrating, because if you come from Tesla, you basically can track your car in real time, along with the speed, along with the everything, like, is there. And okay, I don't necessarily maybe need all that information, that speed and whatnot, but I do need more frequent updates where my car is. It is a useful information for us, for me, and I imagine for other users as well. However, no howevers here. The GPS data is very light. They being Hyundai, they could just increase the frequency when this GPS data is sent over the Bluelink, because I am paying for Bluelink, or I will be once the included period ends, just so I can see where my car is and I can control it. So how come they can't send a couple of kilobytes of data more frequently than an hour or sometimes 2 hours? I honestly don't know what governs this synchronization, because it's not consistent. If I click on it, I can't see it, but in the other app you will see that you can see that it last updated at this and this time. That is also not necessarily accurate, so maybe that's why they have excluded it from here. But that's what this menu is useful for. Of course, there's also favorites, and you can see services and charging stations, but I recommend using other apps for that. Well, maybe the service might make sense for you if you're looking for dealer. Next submenu is in Driving Insight. Driving Insight has like card layout here. The card layout is pretty useless, maybe just for the sake of having a summary. But other than that, both of these two cards with the numbers lead to the same submenu, and this the upper left and lower right is just information panels, and they're not even worth opening. So in this case, you can see there's driving report. So this is a good thing about Hyundai app. It's not perfect, that perfect driving report like Tesla's third-party apps provide you with very detailed reports, but it is still useful to have. So I can see when I have driven, what times, driving record for August. You can see that this is I can see the drives. I have traveled 250 kilometers, quite rounded up. So I don't know, like, did I really do exactly 250 kilometers? It would be interesting to see. But yeah, I did significant driving. So here it's 230. Did I really do 230? So I heard online that the numbers might not be perfectly accurate, so there might be some rounding going on. For example, here you can see there's less than 1 kilometer in one of the entries. So That is something to take into account. Still, it's good to have this kind of a report. It's useful, it's fun, it's interesting to have it so you can monitor sort of your habits. You can even export this data, and it isn't very detailed data. There's no consumption there and whatnot. I wish there was, but there isn't. But there is at least the facts of drive. It's also lacking any GPS information, which would be also very useful and cool to have. For Tesla, I use it all the time on Tessie. But it is what it is, and I'm glad that it's at least there's something. So you can export up to the 3 months. So that's cool to have. Of course, for consumption, your sort of driving habits and like whether how much energy you spend and whatnot, you will find it here, but it's not tied to that driving report at all. So here you can see that sort of the my last driving day, most of it was driving. There's like some went to climate and electronics. There's no details underneath it. Average energy consumption, no details underneath it. I cannot click it. Recuperation, cannot click it, cannot open it. But it's still cool to see how much I have recuperated. That is actually kind of cool to see. Here is some like data over time. My consumption, again, can't open it and go in details. And what's weird about this particular data is that for whatever reason, it is not just showing my during my ownership of the car data. When I got this car from the dealer, this car was that demo car. It showed the data from the previous sort of the owning, and it wasn't the case for driving report or other data, but just for the consumption data. So there is some weirdness going on in the Hyundai's backend, or whoever are their consultants who are doing it. I don't know. There's some weirdness going on. This data is separate from driving report. It should not be separate, but it's good that it at least has this data. So you can play around with it. It's cool that they have it and so on. Then we go back a couple steps, and that's the home screen essentially. There's also notifications upper right corner. They are the typical notifications of vehicle status you will get also on Android as well, and sort of whether it's not locked and whatever, and that's kind of cool. It could be like it's not perfect notification system, but it at least is there, and that's good to have it. So for example, one example is you plug into a faulty charger, it starts charging the car, you're walking away, you're already like 300 meters away, and then it gives you a notification that charging stopped, and you're like, now you really have to go walk back, and okay, you need to like replug it or move the car to another charger. So that's where the notifications are super useful, and also if you forgot to lock your car or left the door open. But generally, it is something that is useful, and it's good that it is there. And I had this happen that I plugged into a faulty charger. It started charging. I walked away, and hey, it says it's not charging. And I needed the car still to drive like 200 kilometers, and so I needed that charge. So not to lose like time additionally, and like thinking that my car is charging, I could walk back and like plug it in back in. Of course, you have app support as well, but anyway, if you're have experienced in EVs, then you sort of know what I'm talking about. So that's the home and the shop menu. Shop menu, well, you can go to the Bluelink store and renew your Bluelink subscription so you can control your car. There's nothing really else there. I can open it, but honestly, I don't want to end up spending too much time here. I'll just get distracted by something. But yeah, I can like look at, like, I guess I can share the sort of the price for the Bluelink Pro, so you know what it is. It's $9.99 per month or $99 for a whole year. There is like I think there's more than just Pro. I think there's a regular Bluelink as well, and Bluelink Pro apparently includes some of the streaming support. Yeah, it says so here, but not on Insta, so I probably won't be renewing Bluelink Pro unless it limits my. Oh, it does say. Yeah, Hyundai Digital Key. I do have Hyundai Digital Key, so I would need Bluelink Pro anyway. So yeah, that's Bluelink Pro. Anyway, back to the app. That's the store. Then there's controls. And controls are also good to have them, but Hyundai is still far behind from a brand like Tesla and some Chinese manufacturers, because one thing, for Insta I cannot control windows. Okay, that's one thing. For Hyundai Santa Fe, which my relative has bought, he cannot control the sunroof, which means during the rain, if he left it open, that's it. So then the rain goes inside his car. He cannot like close it remotely. So the Hyundai's old manufacturing processes sort of limits their architecture, vehicle architecture, to what kind of controls you could have in the app. That said, it's good to have at least the basics. I can start the climate, can stop the climate. Climate settings are under here. What do I want in the climate to be done? So side mirrors heating, rear window heating, steering wheel, and so on, defrost. So that's actually good. And then if I click it, it will run those controls. I haven't tested it extensively to say if there's that any like big bugs or not, but it's good that it is there and it's useful. And here it looks like there is even some widgets that immediately give some kind of like setting quickly. And then there's locking and non-locking and the honk. Now, about the controls, another complaint really is how much time it takes to actually use them. So I am sitting in the car right now. It's on, so if I'm gonna send it now, it's just gonna give me error. Oh, that's maybe even a complaint. But the timing, it's right now sending it to server. It takes a while and finally gets some kind of response. A notification is not shown because I'm using screen recorder and notifications are hidden from there. But it essentially said I cannot do that because, check this car status. It doesn't explain why I cannot do that. So, and for Tesla, it's not a problem if the car is on. If you're sitting in, you can still use the remote controls that are safe to use, like climate. But in the Hyundai, you cannot. But right now, I'm sitting in the car. The Hyundai is on, so these controls won't work. Another thing is, like, if the car is sleeping, it's locked, and I click it, it will take good amount of time, 5 to 10 seconds, sometimes even 15 seconds in bad reception to actually these controls to fire and actually to unlock the car, actually start the thing and so on. So it's not very convenient and quick to use. If you're coming from Tesla like I have, their things just work so much more snappier and quicker and so on. That said, it's good that it's there. I'm not going to complain about that. And another thing is, of course, this honk button you see here. Now, this honk button is a thing that that sounds useful if you're like forgotten where you parked your car, but it is in fact so annoying that I don't think I would ever use it. So here, if I click it, you will maybe see it. Yeah, there we go. So do you want to activate lights and horn? So what it will do, vehicle horn rings for approximately 30 seconds. 30 seconds until you unlock the door and whatever. So if I'm in the parking lot and looking for my car and I activate this, it will be honking for 30 seconds. That's actually a reason why I haven't really properly tested this. I don't want to draw so much attention to me, by having my car honk for 30 seconds. This is one thing Hyundai needs to update about, at least if it's only Insta, then Insta, but if it applies to other electric cars and other cars in general in Hyundai's range where you can use this feature, they should update it to one short honk. That's it. Like, what is the benefit of having 30-second honk? There's like no benefit to it. Like, are you deterring thieves? You can't even access the cameras. So in Tesla, for example, you can access cameras live stream and see what's going on around your car. up to 10 minutes, I believe it was, per day. But here you can't do that, so you wouldn't even know if there are thieves around you to scare them away with this method. So I don't see a benefit to it. So that's weird and strange. At least there's hazard lights, which could be useful if you stop your car in the middle of the street to run into bakery and forgot to turn on hazards, so you don't get the ticket. Vehicle status shows status. It's good that it's there. Sort of the doors are unlocked, closed, boot, bonnet. These things. What is the status? It's good that it is there. EV menu shows sort of the charge information, starting charging, stopping charging. It's not working as well as in Tesla. It will throw errors many times if you use it in the same way as Tesla. So what do I mean? Like in Tesla, stopping charge button would be, first of it will be just one button that changes dynamically, and the second is that if your charge is like if your DC fast charger is now charging or stop charge and it's like locked in your vehicle, it won't unlock the port. To unlock the port, you need to click unlock button. Not even on the app, I think it didn't even work properly. You had to use either a button inside the car or on the key fob to unlock the port. It kind of like, it doesn't work very consistently, so for me it was a little bit annoying. On Tesla it was like very simple. I just click this stop charging button and it will stops charging, and like regardless if it's like not even charging, and it will just unlock the port and I can just remove the thing very easily. At least you can configure for Hyundai to like unlock the charge port in case if the charging stops, but it's not in all cases useful, because somebody could take your cable if you're using your own cable to plug into some stations. So there's that, but at least it's there, and it's good that it's there. So there are some controls. I can set the limits for the charge levels for AC and DC. That sort of works. Sometimes it throws errors when I'm trying to configure it, but at least it's there. Linking departure time will make sure that your car gets charged up by the end of that time. So it, like if you're charging to 100%, it like you don't leave your car fully charged for too long, just sitting there, and also like your battery is an optimal temperature there to continue your journey and charge, and some fast chargers. So services, services. There's roadside assistance, which just gives us a phone number. Now I'm not sure if this is like, I guess this number is for Baltics, so I could use it in Europe too, and they would probably put me in contact with somebody who can help me in outside of Baltics as well. There is like, you can find dealer. You can go to the map and find the nearby dealer. It's the same map interface as before we saw. Yeah, and by the way, this is actually a good thing about it. If only the Hyundai's own navigation would be any good. It's not, but it's still a good feature to have. You can send to the car sort of the navigation destination where you want to go. This is a feature in Tesla you have, and you can directly share it from Maps to the Hyundai app, and then you can send it to the car. In Tesla, it works like you can share from the Google Maps directly to the car without the opening app directly. But it's still good to have it if you're using Hyundai's navigation, which you might be, because the Android Auto tends to overheat your phone, perhaps, and you just want to use the Hyundai's navigation if you have enough faith in that or confidence over it. So let's go back. So then we have, actually, this is a good example where this MyHyundai app needs to improve. It says move to map. It suggests there's a map submenu. Where there is map submenu, we saw there is like navigation menu, so navigating, plan your next destination menu. We see there's services menu where we can click move to map. Where is map submenu? We know that menu exists, but we cannot like just click it on the bottom or somewhere else, which is weird, but okay. And then of course the profile, and there you can see the subscription. Well, the subscription actually doesn't show anything right now, or their history. They do have this thing called Hyundai Pay, not very useful for anything right now, so I won't really spend time on that because I have no idea if nobody uses Hyundai Pay, so whatever. So there's the wallet, of course, my coupon. So that maybe is for Korean market fitting, or maybe they have plans. There's manual. I can access them like online version. Here it will say that we don't really have your car's manual uploaded yet, so we're working on it. So for now, they will give me some Kona electric manual instead, but they're working on it. They did give a message of that, so that's good. There's warranty information. So if we open the warranty, then it's not very detailed anyway. It just shows like sort of the date, when did it start? 2nd of April. My trips is basically the same. It will lead to same submenu as the driving inside, which I showed before. So there's not really much to show in that any more than I already showed. So just to prove my point, here we are, same place, same spot, and yeah, some cards over, like some digital key guide. Yeah, you can register your digital key. So what is digital key? I can talk about it separately. So the Hyundai Inster supports the digital key to touch, and so does lots of new Hyundais. The digital key to touch is good to have it, but it's very slow. So maybe for daily driving it's a bit too clunky to use, but like for occasion, when you know you don't want to lose your key, it is pretty useful. So I will talk maybe about digital key to touch some other time. And here in the settings, I just click the settings. You can actually find no, not here. Okay, but here you can, by the way, see authentication for remote control required. I can enable it. So like when I send the controls, like to unlock the car, whatever, I need to authenticate extra. Bluelink app. So if I open it, I'm presented with home menu as well immediately, or the last menu where I was in when I closed the application. So I think it's but I believe if you start it completely fresh, it just opens to the home menu. You have again like 5 submenus. There's remote, there's status, there's map. Here you have map, which is great, and that's what is missing in my Hyundai app. And then there's more, which is your similarly to my menu in my Hyundai. It shows your account and user settings and whatnot. Starting with home menu, you're again presented with a similar widget style card layout, sort of a status screen, summary screen. You can click the car. It's not the same as in the MyHyundai in terms of like you immediately can select your other vehicles. Here instead you can rename your vehicle, again only tied to this app, not anywhere else. So you can see here it's named Inster, not Frog like I named it in the MyHyundai app. And you can also access see your subscription information and whatnot. So there's sharing the car settings, and sharing the car essentially means that somebody else can control the car through their account, through their app as well. So this is something we will do with my partner. So this is what opens when you click the car. There's notifications in upper right corner, which are basically the same as in the MyHyundai app. However, these notifications come with the notification type in brackets at the start of notification. So alarm, vehicle and vehicle not locked. Alarm, vehicle not locked. Notification, charging process successful. This is not a good system, mainly because alarm is misleading. It kind of tells you that, oh, your car is sounding alarm. No, it is not. It's just a notification type is alarm. So especially if you're coming from Tesla, where alarm and notification literally means your car is sounding alarm, then you're kind of at first triggered when you move to Hyundai and use the Bluelink app. In general, this notification type should be removed, because what do we care about in notification is about the contents of notification, not about what type of notification. If it can be emoji, might as well, but I think notification type is not so important unless you can filter or control the notifications you're presented with by those types, which you can't. So those are notifications. Then further we see that well, there is also like this connected part which shows that your car is communicating with the app. Again, it's much more, and it goes to the status menu, but it is like slower. It's actually, it says connected, but it keeps refreshing very slowly and such. It's not a fast synchronization between your vehicle and the app. No, it takes a while. It's slower than Tesla. It's not even close. There is the remote. You can here find the remote. It's similar to that control widget you saw in the MyHyundai, except this is not related to widget at all. So you can't really modify these home buttons, or can you? If I click the gear icon, I actually can change the icons, but I can only place 3 of them in. So if I place this, I need to replace the 3 of them. So the MyHyundai app upgrades with 4 icons in its control widget, but here you can only add 3, which is kind of not very useful, I guess. But well, you have that choice, and then if you click more, you will navigate to the remote menu. Then we have EV service, which is a strange name to give for setting charge limits, but it is the wording they chose for the Bluelink app, and you can set the charge limits here similarly like in MyHyundai, but it is much quicker to access it here, at least as a first-time user, compared to the other app, as you see. And charging completion alert you can also set up. Yeah, notification time setting 10 minutes before completion and so on. So this can be useful too as well, so you might want to enable it if you want to monitor whether your car is finishing the charge. You have favorites heading home or office. This is related to the map feature. So if we add some kind of address here, I don't know what this what represents, but let's say I added one. So now we have like one address here, and I can move it into home, for example. It's not my home, by the way, so you cannot like find me there. But so now we have set to home, and if I click it, it will show it on the map, and I can immediately send this to the car in the built-in navigation. The built-in navigation, as I said, is kind of poor, and it might miss if you have the same street name as another street. It might suddenly change the directions and go to the other location rather than the location where your street name was placed originally. But yeah, at least it's there, and you can share sort of the locations you're going. But whether you're gonna use this feature of the app with favorites, maybe not. I think no. It's like you're more likely to use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, but if you are using it, maybe this is faster than that infotainment screen, which is slow and clunky. So if we go to favorites, I want to kind of delete this address because it's not my address and I don't really care to go there. I'm not gonna use it either. I just don't want it to be represented in my car's menu either. There is wallet mode. You can also do the wallet mode from the MyHyundai app as well. I didn't comment on it, but wallet mode is basically privacy mode. So it hides your personal information and all sorts of information that is important to you from the car. It doesn't mean that you can drive your car without the keys or something. No, it's just generally privacy mode. I'm not sure if I'm ever gonna use it. Wallets are not that common where I'm from. So that's the wallet mode. There's vehicle status. It again goes to the sort of the status menu, but if I see what is it presenting here, it shows that it's unlocked, locked, but you cannot click these, and that's kind of weird, and I don't think it's good user experience, because you could have, like, now it's unlocked. If I could click it, and then it could lock. Okay, my car is right now on in the background, so it wouldn't even accept that command, which is a flaw, by the way. But it would make sense. These would be dynamic buttons that show the status and are clickable. They look like that. But I can, of course, like, configure what are the statuses that I care about, so I can see it. And this is the status that I will be able to see on the widget on the screen when I place a widget from the Bluelink app. But yeah, my first instinct is to click these, to be able to click these, but you can't. They're just status, and that's it. I'd say the usefulness is limited for it. It should be combined. It should be combined buttons and status, so your save space and user experience is more smooth and less confusing. Next one is going to Bluelink Store. It's the same store as we saw before, or the Bluelink Pro and whatnot. Weather forecast, great. Not sure how useful that is and how often you're gonna look at it, but that can be useful. Maybe. calendar. So there's you can sync up your calendar, so it shows your calendar events, and sort of you can go there, and that I haven't yet seen whether it automatically will start a navigation in my car to those events. I'm not a big user of the calendars in the cars, but maybe it's useful. There's user profile that goes to, well, that's user profile backup. If you want to save your user profile across devices, across the cars, apps, or whatever, it might be useful. But again, this is in Tesla, that's useful because you have all sorts of things saved to your profile. Here, very few things are saved to your profile. A lot of things you have to set up manually in the car yourself. Personal services. Well, the calendar. Here is where you link the calendar. It can be Google Calendar, and I believe, well, let's check. iCloud calendar as well. So your typical calendar you use, not your work calendar, clearly, if you're using Microsoft Exchange. So there is vehicle report button that goes to the driving insights, which we saw in the previous app as well. Like, you can see when I drove, where I drove. You can sort of see distance I took. It doesn't show the total distance, so if you remember, there was like 250 kilometers in total for the Sunday driving. Now whether here I did 250 kilometers in total, I would have to count together myself, but here it rounds up and doesn't even say less than 1 kilometer. If you recall, in the MyHyundai, it shows in distance in the bottom one, the 940 to 946, it showed less than 1 kilometer. So here it's even less clear about it rounding up the values. But yeah, it's again good feature to have, to see sort of the data. It's not perfect system. It doesn't show consumption. Consumption is tied to different. So if I go in energy consumption, we can see the consumption, again, graph. I cannot click on it, open it, see the driving sessions and so on. These data points should really be connected to the driving information, but they're not. So it is what it is. And there's also driving info summary. So something that over the months, I imagine it will be populating and like showing the trend between like distances driven month to month. That is kind of cool data point. Again, it can be done much better, but it's good that these apps have it. There's vehicle diagnostics. It's again the system status. it works well enough. How perfectly, I don't know, but it works. I occasionally get the tire pressure warning notification. It will tell me that it has that I need to, that there's like a triangle there. So it does work, and that's good. So there is also, you can have option to rearrange some of these menus, so more customizability perhaps on this home menu, so what you see is more useful to you. But again, how much time will you be spending inside the app, especially if it's not working as smoothly as some of the competitors like Tesla. So but it's still good that they include this option, so you can like get rid of this like favorites menu that I feel like is not relevant, wallet mode and so on, and just have more simple layout. On lower right corner above more menu, you see there's also this climate button that I can immediately click, and you can see that this app for controls wants me to authenticate. I have not set this up like in the MyHyundai app. You need to set it up yourself. This if you want to authenticate extra, here you need to authenticate extra always, or I haven't seen the setting to turn it off anyway. So this on the lower right corner is just to start climate. So they I assume the designer sort of, or product owner, whoever from the development team, sort of decided that okay, climate is the most common feature that everybody wants to use and activate it. Let's include it in a bottom right corner so it's easy to reach with one finger. Yeah, why not? It's a concept. I think it lacks refinement, but it is there. So then if we go on to the remote menu, we have all the same controls as in the MyHyundai app. This time I need to authenticate when using once, and then subsequent clicks are don't need authentication. Like just a second ago I authenticated, so I should be able to click it. And here you also see that when I click it, I can click it. It actually went through. The car is on. Surprising. This is interesting. On MyHyundai I couldn't. Okay. Interesting. I cannot lock the doors if the car is on and I'm in, but I can unlock them. I wonder why. Interesting. Maybe it's to do with the charger lock, so I'm able to remove the charger. That is odd and inconsistent behavior by Hyundai, but okay. At least there's some thought behind that. Hopefully there is. And then they starting the climb. I cannot stop the climate. Let's check that. It didn't stop the climate. Notification is not visible because of the screen recording. Yeah, I can't see what it says in notification, but it usually gives error that check the vehicle status. So I cannot control remotely the climate, which is kind of a bummer, but clearly some things are available. Like the horn control is again this 30-second one. These are the same controls as in the MyHyundai app, and the only thing different that I just now discovered, and that's not related to the app, like new thing I've discovered, is that I can unlock it when it's already unlocked and then the car is running. But besides that, it's simplistic controls. Can control the windows, for instance. For Santa Fe, I can't control the sunroof if it's open or closed. Some limitations, of course, but yeah, these are the basic controls here, and it's good that we have them, but they could be better and could be more refined. Between the two apps, this is like not like basically the same, just visually different. Climate settings, again, what kind of climate settings are we looking to adjust? When we click start climate, and so we can immediately, well, yeah, we can check the defrost, side mirrors, plus, and so on. There's also like seat settings, yeah, to heating for the seats. So Hyundai Instar has heated front seats, so I can I can enable those two with the climate control. And then if we move on to the status menu. In the status menu, it shows the temperature that the car is like targeting now. Let's see if I increase it from the car right now. Does it change? It doesn't change immediately, but if I refresh it, so it takes a bit of a while, and you might think, oh, that's normal, it needs to communicate to server. Yes, but there's a big competitor, Tesla, who does it near instantaneously. So like Hyundai can improve this as well. Yeah, but you can see it updates, and that's actually, I welcome seeing that, because I had so many synchronization issues between Hyundai apps and the car that I'm glad to see that at least temperature setting is being refreshed relatively quickly. Or maybe it's just a good day for servers. Who knows? Anyway, charging and climate is the charging and climate card. Schedule charging, charger is not plugged in, battery status, locking status, unlocked, climate status. So there's in this, as the name suggests of this menu, it shows the status of all the different things that you have in the car and what it can observe. And it's good that it's there, that I can quickly access the status and look over it. Whether all of that information is crucial, probably not, and that's why it's under the status. A notification will be given to you anyway if something is a bit more odd and running too long. So it's good that there is a status menu, but it could have been connected. Could have been just enough if it's only in the home menu, because you can have like basic status for everything here. Does the status need like dedicated a whole menu for the status things? Maybe. I do see another button here, which is vehicle report. Okay, it's back to the driving insights menu. So again, how did we draw and so on. I don't see option to export this data. So in MyHyundai, I could export this data, and that was very useful, and I think for a lot of people it's important. Here I cannot. So that's another thing I see different in this app immediately. And one thing that's nice about this app, and why I would choose maybe this app more often than the other one, is the map being right there. It's a clickable button, clearly visible. I can immediately see it, and I can see the location of my car. Now, if I click the location of my car, it even says last updated at 11:18. It was, well, the car is on, by the way, but hour ago, more than an hour ago, it was last time updated. What stops it from being updated now, I don't know. But here it is updated last time 11:18. It's good that it at least includes the information. It's more relevant to me automatically. But yeah, it does not update quickly. Hyundai should really do something about how frequently they send GPS data over Bluelink. They should send it with bigger, like shorter intervals. Right now, it's not as useful as it could be. And you can activate light horn from here. So, which again is that 30-second horn. Why 30-second horn? This also Hyundai should change that. It's like just a little like shorter horn so you can find your vehicle, and that's it. Not 30 seconds of horning. Anyway, I will test it one day, but not near the houses or anywhere. Maybe somewhere in midnight in some abandoned parking lot. Who knows? I find it strange to honk for long. I mean, I could stop it just by unlocking, but why bother? So there is like, you can also like press Google, and pressing Google means it will be taken to the Google Maps, so you can navigate there using the Google Maps. That's useful. Yeah. I mean, the name of the button does not make necessarily sense, but if they're gonna use Google Maps navigation anyway, I guess that's fine. You can click share button to share it to some other kind of app. Perhaps you can use With send destination. I think the other apps won't be able to process it. Let's try a better route planner. No, it's just confused. Yeah, you can't. So when you click share, it'll just share a much bigger text, so you can send it to your friends or family, but not for the map location. So you have to click the Google button instead. So that can improve, but it is better than, in a way, than the other app, MyHyundai. You can still get the charging stations, which again I recommend using other apps like PlugShare, a better route planner or whatnot. You can still find parking. Do we see like service centers? Because in the previous app you could click the Hyundai service centers. I do see, well, no, those are previous destinations. But I don't see the service centers. Maybe they're under a different submenu in this app. Again, how often should you go to the service, to Hyundai dealer service centers? Hopefully you don't have to go that often there, because that would be a nuisance. But I know sometimes this happens, and if you're on the traveling across Europe, you might be inclined looking for the Hyundai service centers directly from the app. So that I don't see immediately in this app. There's also this button which is showing the range where the current charge will take me. Take it with a grain of salt. Some users have said that it's kind of cool to see and convenient to see. You can also see similar view in the car itself. I don't think it's that useful. It's interesting, but it's not that useful because it doesn't necessarily take into account all the hilliness of the road or any kind of weather information and so on. All of those things will affect how far you can drive it with this state of charge. So that's the map, and I'm glad that in this case the map button is here. You can also search address, and I think you can even start navigating, but let's just, for the sake of it, choose this one. Now send to car. Okay, navigating from the car. That's fine. It's like navigating from the car. The car's navigation system is probably more useful anyway than using these apps that are not a better route planner to navigate. So yeah, this is like the more menu, where I can control my account and such, change pin, terminate, like authentication, user settings, sharing the car, Bluelink store, digital key. You can directly access it here. Again, well, there is, like, you can see that I've registered that digital key. I can tell about digital key some other time. It allows you to use the card, either a registered card or your phone, to unlock the car and start the car. It's a bit clunky. It's not as smooth as Tesla, but at least it's there. I can select vehicle from this menu. So in the previous app, I can just click on the car in the home menu. Here I have to open my more menu, and then I need to select the vehicle. It's not that complicated. I don't really mind this approach, unless I guess if I would be changing my cars often, maybe then, but I don't think so. Like, app is there to support you, not something you need every day. So yeah, I only have Insta from Hyundai cars, so I don't really have anything to select there. There's alert services. That's sort of the that's interesting. So I can some kind of alert services or speed geofence. Okay, you can alert me, I guess, on the app for if I exceed speed, and then geofence if I go further than a certain location. Yeah, I guess so. Interesting. I haven't explored this feature. I'm not sure it's even useful for me personally. But perhaps you're more familiar with what alert services are, and it's something important to you, then you can sort of set these things these for these types. Not sure. Yeah, okay. Service list, which you can enable, disable. EV service charging limits that we already saw. More options. Charge my Hyundai. That is the next app I will share. So more apps. A bit strange way to say like, oh, we have even more apps, like more useless apps for you to install and waste your space in the phone for them. Wonder what they do, but I will talk about the next one as well, and hopefully Hyundai doesn't get too busy making a number of apps. They should really just refine the few they have already. Offer inbox, yeah, there's nothing there, and more customer service center things. So that's essentially it from the Bluelink app. I am much more interested in using the Bluelink app. However, that interest sort of goes away when I go to widgets. And let me show excerpt of the widgets video I did. Yeah, why don't we take a look at the widgets of these apps? So, Hyundai, let's start with my Hyundai. So my Hyundai widgets are as follows: the remote control, that's the same one you could saw that you can rearrange. There's more fuller, my Hyundai, and like again, same icons you can rearrange with along with status, and the bigger one which just shows your car bigger, but feature wise again the same. I don't think there's even added information compared to the other one. Yeah, they're basically the same. So let's add one, and let's size it correctly. So right now I would need, well, actually let's modify the widget. So this is also a good test to see if the widget thing modifies. So let's move this. Here I have to do it. I added lock doors. Here we see that it didn't update because we only updated the widget. So we should see it reflected on the screen, and we do. That's good. So let's try to unlock it. Okay, need to click OK. That's kind of annoying, but okay. I think it managed to send it. Took a while, so the widget works. That's good. So let's see if the other widget from the Bluelink app is any different. It works differently. Bluelink. Again, we see some vehicle control, and one is advanced, one is supposedly advanced. If I take a look at it, it has only 3 buttons, and that one has 4 buttons. Strange. There's power button. Will that one also has power? Well, let's add it and see actually what's available, because those are just previews. Maybe these are not buttons. It's just status. MyHyundai app does button impression better because those are actually buttons. But here these would have been good to be buttons too, and dynamic buttons is better. I wouldn't need 2 icons for that. Let's say that there was another widget from the Bluelink, so let's take a look at that one. So these definitely have to be buttons. So okay, climate is working. I can't disable it through this button. It looks like it's on. And then I have to authenticate. I'm just curious if it will disable it if I click it again. Okay, so that's something. I think the climate is still on because this button is just to enable climate. But yeah, basically there's this other widget needed. This upper one is just a status. In fact, now that I mention it, I see they even include the widget title there, Bluelink vehicle status. Yeah, that's the widget game on the Bluelink app is kind of not okay. I like the status icons, I suppose, but they should be clickable, I think. And then separate widget for vehicle control and the text. It's yeah, this one like Bluelink is good as far as good enough when in the app, but as far as widgets are, and that extra authentication is just annoying. So like, let's go see if we can edit this widget, transparency settings, and I don't see if I can rearrange the buttons. So so this other one is the other one, the MyHyundai widget is actually better. So that's the widget review. Yeah, so let's see this new app supposedly that Hyundai is developing, what dealer said. Is it a different app? If it is, let's see how that plays out in future.